Aaron Judge is quite possibly the best hitter of the past 20 years of baseball. What he's been doing for the past few seasons is up in contention with that of the greatest hitters who have ever lived: Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Barry Bonds, and now Aaron Judge. After winning his second MVP award last year easily, being so far ahead of his competition, so far the 2025 season looks like it's going to be a repeat. However, out of nowhere, seemingly, Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners, has stolen the show from baseball's best hitter, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Cal Raleigh's in his fourth season in the MLB after making his debut late in the 2021 season. Since then, Raleigh has been a very good addition to the Mariners' young team. He's been a solid defensive catcher, matching league averages at his positions. He's also been a good bat in the lineup, 3 straight years with an OPS plus over 100, and he even had 34 home runs along with 100 RBIs last year. Not too shabby. He even delivered for his team in clutch moments, like when he hit a walk-off home run to help the Mariners break their 21-year playoff drought back in 2022. But last offseason, something inside his brain, or maybe his body, switched, causing his numbers for this year to explode. Check out some of these numbers. Cal Raleigh already has 32 home runs and 68 RBIs, and we aren't even at the All-Star break. He's got a 1.078 OPS, which is a 202 OPS plus, making him literally twice as good of a hitter as league average in the MLB. His defense isn't anything impressive, as some of his defensive stats above replacement are actually lower than they were last year. But that is a trade-off the Mariners are more than happy to make, given how well he's been swinging. He's still a solid defensive catcher who's popping the fuck off right now and helping the Mariners actually win baseball games. The Mariners are a few games above 500 at the moment, and Cal Raleigh's been leading the charge for them. Let's not forget that Cal Raleigh is a catcher, and while being a catcher is hard enough, being a good hitter while being a catcher is probably the hardest thing to do in baseball. The physical toll that catching takes on a body, no question, hinders a ball player's performance at the plate. The stats don't lie about this either. I mean, look at these stats of catchers compared to non-catchers from the past 10 years of baseball. That makes everything that Raleigh's doing just even more impressive. Now, nobody's going to question that Cal Raleigh's having an incredible season, but is it really fair to say that he's beating Judge out for AL MVP this year? Yes, Raleigh's leading the league in home runs and RBIs at the moment, but look at every other category. Judge is leading in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS and OPS plus, hits, and intentional walks. Not to mention that he isn't just leading in those categories, but he's leading by a long shot. He's also not far behind Raleigh in home runs and RBIs. We aren't even halfway through the season, and there's still lots of time to see which bats are going to get hotter and which bats will go cold. I think for sure that the AL MVP is going to go to one of these two guys. I think everybody can agree on that. It's important to remember that voters' fatigue is a real thing. Writers get tired of voting for the same guy for MVP repeatedly, and seeing as Judge has won 2 of the last 3 AL MVPs, if Judge's numbers aren't outstanding compared to Raleigh's, it's possible the award's just going to go to Raleigh, even if Judge is more deserving of it. The MVP, the most valuable player, doesn't just mean who's the better player. It also means who brings the most value to their team. Both of these guys bring tremendous value to their team. However, an argument could be made that because Raleigh's a catcher and catching is such a difficult position to play and perform at a high level for, that even if some of his offensive numbers are worse than Aaron Judge's, right now Raleigh provides more value to the Mariners than Judge does to the Yankees. Now, I personally disagree because most of Judge's numbers are astronomically better than not just Raleigh, but everybody else in the leagues. And having a dangerous guy like Judge in that lineup benefits the rest of the team more significantly than if Raleigh were on the Yankees, in my opinion. However, it is a sensible argument and one that I would entertain. Like I said, there's a lot of baseball yet to be played, and there's no telling how the end of the season will look. Like I said, we're not even at the All-Star break yet. Judge or Raleigh could get hurt, they could fall into huge slumps, or their performance could simply lessen for the rest of the season. One thing that I will say for certain is that this MVP race conversation is a great thing for baseball. Having no competition, whether it's for a division title, MVP award, or whatever, isn't nearly as much fun as when there is competition. Last season, watching Aaron Judge, it almost got boring because him blowing his competition out of the water became routine. It became what we all expected. Bobby Witt Jr. last year had an incredible season, but he stood no chance against the numbers that Judge put up. Having there be a real race is great for the game and all the people watching. Both of these guys have people in the stands chanting MVP for them. It's even better when both of these guys are on teams that have good chances of making the playoffs.